and thank you, members of the committee. My name is Jim Durkin. I am the state representative of the 82nd District. I'm also fortunate to be the House Republican leader. My legislative office is in Burr Ridge, Illinois. It's less than a mile away from the Sterigenics facility. I reside in Western Springs, Illinois, which is my house is approximately 4 miles away from the Sterigenics facility. So I speak not only as a member of the legislature, but also as a resident of that area and as a father and a husband, but also as a cancer survivor. So this is a very emotional issue for me and for many people who have spoken up over the past year. Over a year ago, the small community of Willowbrook and its surrounding towns were rocked by a report released by the U.S. EPA showing increased risk of cancer caused by ethylene oxide emissions from a sterilizing company called Sterigenics. The plant had been in operation in a nondescript building next to the Willowbrook Village Hall and police station for decades, emitting toxins with dangerous levels of ethylene oxide pollution. In the time since that report came out, I have never seen a community come together so quickly and work towards one goal: keeping our residents safe by ensuring the permanent closure of Sterigenics. This spring, the Illinois General Assembly passed what has been called the most stringent restrictions on the use and emissions of ethylene oxide, not only in the United States, but in the world. The act was named in honor of one of my constituents, Matt Haller, a young father whose life was tragically taken from his family and all of us too quickly from a rare form of cancer he developed after living within a few blocks of the Sterigenics facility. I am proud to have worked with many of you on passing that bill. It was a lot of work, and I commend the men and women of this committee, but also in both chambers, for the work we did with the Haller Act. Nearly immediately after we had passed that bill, and some would say even before the passage of the Haller Act, the Illinois EPA began a dialogue with Sterigenics in an effort to ensure they receive permits to operate again. Just a few months back, there was an EPA town hall meeting in Willowbrook to discuss the issue with the community, which I listened and I participated. And it is, in my opinion, that the Illinois EPA did not listen to the voices that night. And when it became clear that the EPA was readying to issue operating permits to Sterigenics, I was left with no choice but to protect the region and our states by filing House Bill 3885, which brings us here today. This bill will allow local home rule communities the ability to ban the use of EO, ethylene oxide, to allow communities to protect themselves when higher authorities won't do it. The Illinois Constitution states that home rule municipalities may exercise any power and perform any function pertaining to its government and affairs, including but not limited, the power to regulate for the protection of the public health, safety, morals, and welfare, to license, tax, and to incur debt. It's forced me to look into the whole issue of home rule authority, and that's why we're here, and that is what my bill does. And I believe what I am asking in 3885 is consistent with the Constitution and also of 1970, but also with the case law that has developed over the years of how far and what are the reaches of home rule authority in their ability to operate and to protect their citizens on a variety of issues that have not been preempted by state law. The power to regulate for the protection of the public health is exactly what we're doing here today in 3885. Affording home rule municipalities the express right to protect their residents' public health from the threat of EO emissions. We are currently seeing more of this nationwide, the issue of ethylene oxide. Just this past summer in the state of Georgia, a Sterigenics facility has been leaked to high incidence of cancer rate in the area. Now, going back to Willowbrook, there was a lot of emotion that occurred over the past year. We acted. It's never good to act just on emotion. You act on evidence and facts. The readings and the emissions drawn from the Willowbrook area by the facility were high, they were dangerous, But more importantly, there was a public health report on a cancer cluster study in that region. To me, was what pushed me over the edge and said, we have to do more. So we have to do everything we can to make sure that we're doing the right thing, but I believe that our highest priority and our greatest priority is to make sure that our citizens are safe. Now, the Illinois General Assembly has been a leader on this issue. Other states will be looking onto us and how to protect their residents, so I thank you all for your consideration on this very important issue.